While being trained, a Pokemon usually stays inside its Pokeball. However, there are many exceptions. Some Pokemon hate being confined.
A Pidgey!
Pidgey is a flying Pokemon. Among all the flying Pokemon, it is the gentlest and easiest to capture. A perfect target for the beginning Pokemon trainer to test his Pokemon's skills. To capture a Pokemon, you usually have your own Pokemon battle with the other. Pidgey's gust power creates tornadoes. It also has a sand attack. A forest Pokemon, Rat-a-tat. It likes cheese, nuts, fruits, and berries. It also comes out into open fields to steal food from stupid travelers.
That means...
Unlike Pidgey, Spearow has a terrible attitude. It is very wild and will sometimes attack other Pokemon and humans. Wild Pokemon tend to be jealous of human-trained Pokemon.
What's that?
There is no data. There are still Pokemon yet to be identified. I'm Dexter, a Pokédex programmed by Professor Oak for Pokemon trainer Ash Ketchum of the town of Pallet. My function is to provide Ash with information and advice regarding Pokemon and their training. If lost or stolen, I cannot be replaced. Pidgeotto, an evolved form of the Pidgey. It is armed with sharp claws and dives from the sky to capture its prey. Unlike the more gentle Pidgey, Pidgeotto can be dangerous. Approach with extreme caution. Metapod. Caterpie's next stage. It has encased its body in a hard shell. This specimen reached this stage faster than any previously discovered Pokemon of this variety. Pinsir. This fearsome Pokemon uses its powerful claws to put the squeeze on its opponents. Beedrill. This Pokemon is an evolved form of Weedle, following its Kakuna stage. Its sting is highly poisonous. Kakuna. A transitional stage between Weedle and Beedrill. Kakunas remain inactive until they evolve into deadly Beedrills and hatch. Butterfree. 1 week after Caterpie evolves into Metapod, it again evolves into Butterfree. Clefairy. This impish Pokemon is friendly and peaceful. It is believed to live inside Mount Moon, although very few have ever been seen by humans. Clefable, an advanced form of Clefairy. These unique creatures are among the rarest Pokemon in the world. Staryu. The core of this water Pokemon shines in a rainbow of 7 colors, a core that is valued by some as a type of jewelry. Oddish. This Pokemon is typically found roaming the forest, scattering pollen as it walks around. Bulbasaur. It bears the seed of a plant on its back from birth. The seed slowly develops. Researchers are unsure whether to classify Bulbasaur as a plant or animal. Bulbasaur are extremely tough and very difficult to capture in the wild. Charmander. A flame burns on the tip of its tail from birth. It is said that a Charmander dies if its flame ever goes out. Squirtle. This tiny turtle Pokemon draws its long neck into its shell to launch incredible water attacks with amazing range and accuracy. The blasts can be quite powerful. Krabby lives near the shore. Its average height is about 16 inches. Raichu, a mouse Pokemon of the electric element. Raichu is the evolved form of Pikachu. It can shock with more than 100,000 volts, enough to render a Dragonite unconscious. Gyarados. This Pokemon has a vicious temperament, so use extreme caution. Its fangs can crush stones and its scales are harder than steel. Horsey, a dragon Pokemon. In this unique Pokemon species, thousands of eggs hatch every spring, and then the male raises them himself.
It looks like...
Tentacool, a jellyfish Pokemon. 99% of its body is made up of water. Tentacruel, a jellyfish Pokemon, an evolved form of the Tentacool. Its numerous tentacles serve as a powerful weapon. It is known as the gangster of the sea. Abra, a psychic power Pokemon. It sleeps 18 hours a day, but employs telekinesis even while sleeping. Kadabra, a psychic Pokemon. The evolved form of Abra employs powerful telekinetic attacks. Ghost Pokemon are in a vapor form. Their true nature is shrouded in mystery. Mankey, a pig-monkey Pokemon of the fighting type. Known for its superior footwork, it packs a powerful punch. Although Mankey is usually calm, it does have a bad temper. Once Mankey begins to thrash, stopping it is impossible. Primate, if you make eye contact with this evolved form of Mankey, it will chase you forever. Once Primate begins its strongest attack, Thrash, it goes completely out of control. Charmander's special attack, Rage. It gains more power the more it is attacked. It will continue to fight until its opponent falls. Tangela, a vine Pokémon. Its body is wrapped in vines. The rest of its form is hidden beneath these vines.
What is it?
Psyduck, a water Pokémon, uses mysterious power to perform various attacks. Hypno, a hypnosis Pokémon. It carries a pendulum-like device and performs hypnotic attacks. Drowsy, said to be a descendant of the dream-eating tapir. It was the first Pokémon to use a combination attack like hypnosis and dream eater. Vulpix, a fox Pokémon. Its 6 tails are extremely beautiful. As it evolves, it grows even more tails. Vulpix's greatest attack, Fire Spin. Using powerful flames to block its opponent from moving, it then inflicts great damage. Hitmonchan, a skilled fighting Pokémon that packs an incredibly fast punch. Machop, its body is pure muscle. Its special attack is the Seismic Toss. Magnemite, a magnet Pokémon. Its means of floating through the air are not understood. This very mysterious Pokémon is of the electric type. Grimer, a sludge Pokémon. Born from sludge, these Pokémon specialize in sludge attacks. Muck, Grimer's evolved form. Use extreme caution as its slimy form contains poison. Diglett. The movement of these ground Pokémon can be easily detected by their tracks of upturned earth. Dugtrio. The evolved form of Diglett. No specific information available. Venonat. A bug Pokémon. Its eyes function as radar, allowing it to see in the dark. Voltorb. The identity of this creature is unknown. It has an extreme personality, uses electric attacks, and at times self-destructs. Venomoth, an evolved form of Venonat. Tiny scales on its wings disperse various spores when they are flapped. Psyduck's attacks are 1. Tail Whip. Psyduck attacks. Number 2. Scratch. Psyduck's attacks. Number 3. Disable. Psyduck's attacks. Number 4. Confusion. Tauros, a wild bull Pokémon. When whipping itself with its 3 tails, its tackle is a powerful destructive force. Growlithe, a puppy Pokémon of pleasant demeanor and great diligence. It drives enemies away with barks and bites. Ponyta, a fire horse Pokémon. Its mane is made of intense flames. Dodrio, a 3-headed bird Pokémon that can run faster than it can fly. Its 3 heads represent joy, sorrow, and anger. Kangaskhan, a parent Pokémon. Once approaching extinction, they are now protected by law and inhabit the Safari Zone. Approach with extreme caution. The Kangaskhan is a rare Pokémon which raises its children in its pocket. They will attack viciously and without warning if they feel their young are threatened in any way. Golem, a Megaton Pokémon. Once a year, it sheds its bedrock shell and grows larger. Cloyster, a bivalve Pokémon. Its shell is incredibly strong and resistant to a bomb. Its shell only opens when it attacks. Ditto, a transformed Pokémon. It is able to rearrange the cells of its body and assume any form. Its only attack is Transform. Eevee, the evolution Pokémon. It has the potential to evolve into any one of 3 different Pokémon. Eevee evolves into one of 3 Pokémon, depending on what stone is used on it. Using a Fire Stone will yield Flareon, the Flame Pokémon. A Water Stone yields Vaporeon, the Bubble Jet Pokémon. A Thunderstone yields Jolteon, the Lightning Pokémon. Snorlax, a sleeping Pokémon. Snorlax wakes only to eat. Snorlax is the heaviest species of all known Pokémon, with some weighing more than 1,000 pounds. The Pokéflute is used to wake sleeping Pokémon. Snorlax will only awaken to this flute. Scyther and Electabuzz are both rare Pokémon. They are able to distinguish colors and become enraged by the color red.
Like the ketchup.
Execute, an egg Pokémon. Although it resembles an egg, it is known to be more closely related to the seed of a plant.
No.
Executor, a coconut Pokémon, also known as the walking tropical rainforest. Each coconut has a distinct face and its own character. Its special attack is Hypnosis. Charmeleon, the flame Pokémon. It has razor-sharp claws and its tail is exceptionally strong. Paris, the mushroom Pokémon. Rare mushrooms grow on its back. Paris has qualities of both bug and grass Pokemon. Parasect, the mushroom Pokemon. It battles using poison spheres that spread from the mushroom canopy on its back. Jigglypuff, a balloon Pokemon. It has large, friendly eyes and it sings a pleasant song. Ammonite and Amistar, Kabuto and Kabutops. It is believed that these Pokemon became extinct tens of thousands of years ago. The details of their behavior is shrouded in mystery. Though some have speculated that they may still exist, none of these Pokemon have ever been seen alive. Aerodactyl, an extinct flying Pokemon. Its hard fangs suggest that it was a carnivore. Its sharp claws were probably used to capture prey. Bioplume, the flower Pokemon. Using the largest flower petals in the world, it spreads large clouds of pollen that cause allergic reactions. Farfetch'd, a wild duck Pokemon. Farfetch'd makes a delicious meal, especially when cooked with leek. Because of this, Farfetch'd is nearly extinct. Togepi, an egg Pokemon. Specific information about this Pokemon is still unavailable. Venusaur, the final form of the Bulbasaur evolution. This seed Pokemon soaks up the sun's rays as a source of energy. The seed Pokemon, Ivysaur. Bulbasaur's evolved form. The bulb on its back absorbs nourishment and blooms into a large flower. Growlithe, the puppy Pokemon. While loyal to its master, the Growlithe will drive away enemies by barking and biting.
Ninetales, the fox Pokemon, is the evolved form of the fire Pokemon, Vulpix. Rhydon, the evolved form of Rhyhorn. It is known as the Trill Pokemon. Its large horn gives it formidable attack power. Magmar, the Spitfire Pokemon. Its body is like a furnace, making Magmar a living inferno. It has been discovered only near active volcanoes. Wartortle, the turtle Pokemon. The evolved form of Squirtle. Its long, furry tail is a symbol of its age and wisdom.
Look at that!
Blastoise, the shellfish Pokemon. The evolved form of Wartortle. Blastoise's strength lies in its power rather than its speed. Its shell is like armor, and attacks from the hydro cannon on its back are virtually unstoppable. Dewgong, the sea lion Pokemon. The evolved form of Seal, this water ice Pokemon, can easily resist extreme cold. Pokemon unknown, no available data. Mr. Mime, the barrier Pokemon. It uses pantomime to make actual walls appear. Because it is rarely discovered, information about this Pokemon is extremely limited. Jinx, the human-shaped Pokemon. This Pokemon has some very unusual powers. Its special attack is the Lovely Kiss, which puts its opponent into a deep sleep. Lapras, this intellectually advanced Pokemon, is able to understand human speech. With its mild temperament, Lapras prefers to carry humans on its back rather than engage in Pokemon battles.
I just scanned both your Pokédexes, and the results show that Gary has seen 60 different Pokémon, and Ash has seen over 100.
All right! I beat him!
But Gary captured many more Pokemon than Ash.
Doduo, the twin bird Pokemon. It runs faster than it can fly. Slowpoke, the dopey Pokemon. No one can tell what a Slowpoke is thinking, if it ever does think. Its specialty is fishing with its tail. It's Gengar, a shadow Pokemon, the evolved form of Haunter. Details about this Pokemon are unknown. Alakazam, a side Pokemon. This Pokemon uses psychic attacks to overcome its opponents. Marowak, a Bonekeeper Pokemon. Despite its small size, its offensive and defensive strength is impressive. A twin bird Pokemon. Once its heads begin to fight each other, Doduo becomes incapacitated. A legendary Pokemon. Its virtues symbolize the Pokemon League competitions. Kingler, the evolved form of Krabby, a pincer Pokemon, whose claws can pinch with the power of 10,000 horsepower. Seadra, a dragon Pokemon, the evolved form of Horsey. Seadra has a violent temperament, and the quills that cover its body can render its victim unconscious. Hero, the beak Pokemon, the evolved form of Spearow. Its large, powerful wings allow it to fly for an entire day. The crushing power of its beak is tremendous. Pidgeot, the bird Pokemon, the evolved form of Pidgeotto. It can fly at twice the speed of sound at an altitude of nearly 1 mile.